As business leaders, we all understand the value of momentum. However, in our pursuit of goals, it's common to encounter unexpected obstacles and distractions that can, if not carefully managed, knock us off track. Today, I'm going to tackle the common reasons we get off track, and I'm going to share some practical strategies to get back on the path of success if and when that occurs. Let's dive in. So one of the questions I get all the time is how do I stay on track? And what do I do when I get off track? When that happens, how can I get myself back on track faster? So let me take you through a couple of things that I think are really super important. First is, where is our energy and focus is? That's the first question you got to ask yourself. And I think the way to stay on track is to ensure that you're focused on the things that matter and the things that are within your control. That's where your focus should be. See, we get ourselves in trouble when we focus on, say, the things that matter, but not within our control, or the things that are within our control, but really don't matter, right? So if we really want to stay on track, we got to stay centered on two things. The things I'm working on matter, and it's within my control to impact. So that's the first thing. The second thing that I want to highlight for you is just the value of what I call rhythm and routine. That has been one of the go-to things for me to establish any kind of flow and get a lot of stuff done. So how do you really establish a rhythm and routine to stay on track? And the first thing when I coach people is I say, okay, group whatever your tasks are, begin to categorize them and group similar tasks and work on them as a group. And if you I geek out on really weird things. So I study doctors and other people like that. So take a doctor as an example, right? When you go to a doctor visit, an office, right? They have office hours on a certain day, and they go from one, you're lined up in one room after another. They go from your door to the next door to the next door. They spend their whole day going through to office visits. You never go see a doctor and he goes 2 office visits, then a surgery, then back to an office visit, then to a surgery. No, they have days for surgery and days for office visits. Why? Because that's how they stay really super efficient. They keep a rhythm and routine, so they group similar tasks together. And the same for me, like in my business, what I do is I group all my coaching calls on a similar day, back to back. Why? Because I'm in the advice giving business at that point. So that's how I stay in rhythm and routine. The next thing I think is really super important is to block time on your calendar. I call them power blocks, right? How do you take the things that are really super important and block time to work on them so you're not distracted. And the third thing I want to highlight to stay in rhythm routine is to really establish what I call consumable results or just milestone results. So a lot of times when we're working on things that are really big and super important, we never we're so focused on the end result, we don't really establish the checkpoints that are going to help us get there and keep momentum. So just when things start to begin to sag, it's like a tent pole. You got to celebrate. You got those milestones. You got to focus on that. That keeps the energy flowing. So those are some of the ways to stay on track. But let's be honest, you're going to have to lean in, engage your energy, and to know when the signs are starting to appear, the warning signs are starting to appear to that you're about to come off track. So I want to give you a couple tips to do what to do when that happens. Just like when we start to get sick, you start to kind of feel like your legs start to ache. So when you're starting to feel like things are starting to unravel or you're not operating at your best, what most people do is they work harder, they do more, right? They actually spend more time. When I really believe the first thing you got to do is the exact opposite. You got to rest and recharge. So you got to listen to your body when you're feeling yourself not operating at your best. What I tell people is take a time out, rest and recharge. That to me is a way to deal with a warning sign. The second thing is to reset your focus. I can't tell you the number of times I talk to people and they're like, especially when I in my Power Week Power Lake program, I talk about the value of creating a flight plan. And people come to me like, Riv, I got a great flight plan on Monday, but I got to tell you, come Wednesday, my whole flight plan's gone to hell, man. The week's unravel. I'm like, okay, welcome to reality. So there's nothing preventing you on that Wednesday to reset your focus. Where a lot of people just say, I think that the week's gone to hell. And they just let the rest of the week operate with the same level of chaos. No, what I tell people is you can reset your focus anytime when things start to unravel. So create a mini flight plan from say Wednesday to Friday. So okay, now last couple days came unraveled. I got a couple more days left to still save the week. What's my mini flight plan to reset my focus for the rest of the week? That's within your control. And the third thing I want to highlight here is to reestablish rituals and routines. I can't emphasize enough how important this is. When you ever notice, like when you go to the gym and you're going all the time, you kind of keep going because you're in a ritual and routine. Then all of a sudden you get sick or something happens. You're on a business trip, and then it's hard to kind of get back in that routine. I'm like, that's when you got to reestablish it. The first thing you got to do is get yourself back to the gym. So those are some of the things to do when you start to sense there's a warning light emerging. Last thing I want to highlight for you is I think is really super important. I just don't want you to lose sight of. So I call my leadership laws. There's 3 leadership laws that I think are really super important to keep you on track and help you get back on track when things start to come undone. So the first one is to see things as they are, not better or worse than they are. You got to resist the temptation to judge something as bad. It is what it is. A lot of people spend all their energy in trying to figure out how you got here. Guess what? You got here. I can't redo the past. What I can do is deal with it in the moment. So the first leadership law is to see things as they are. The second leadership law is to envision things better than they are, right? If you ever notice when things start to kind of unravel, people just love to start bitch and complain about things. At some point, somebody has to stand up. Hopefully it's you in the group and exhibit some leadership. Someone's got to say, hey, look, things can become better. And you got to envision things better than they are. That's the second leadership law. And the third leadership law is to seek help to co-create that future. Gone are the days of doing everything ourselves. And you know what? Anything that's created in this world of value has been done through teamwork and collaboration. So wherever you are, wherever you want to get to, you got to ask the question, not how do I do this? As you got to reset that question and say, who can help me? So these are just some of the things that I wanted to highlight for you to either stay on track or get yourself back on track when things begin to unravel. Okay, this is just a snapshot of what I cover in much more detail in my Power Week, Power Life program. If you want to learn how to create a rhythm and routine to get things done more efficiently so you free up time for yourself, I invite you to register for my Power Week, Power Life program. When you sign up, I will immediately unlock all the training materials so you have an opportunity to begin experimenting with the tools and frameworks today. I'm also going to include access to my implementation boot camps where you can then bring your specific questions, and I will personally help you create and customize a Power Week system that works for you in your world. For more details, follow the link in the description. Okay, if you like what I shared today, do me a favor, give it a thumbs up, drop a comment related to your business, and of course, subscribe, because each week I'm sharing content to help you and your team embrace change, focus your efforts, and accelerate results. Remember this, you're just one idea away. We'll talk to you soon.